Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's currently Tuesday the 9th of June, and Dax is not going to school today because we're currently at an appointment at Toowong because we basically Dax is seeing a pediatrician, and he's going to get tested for ADHD, possible ADHD, and he's also going to get learning testing done to see if he has learning difficulties, to see if his focus at school is because he has trouble with, like, he has learning difficulties, or it's because he has ADHD. So we're going to find out which one of that is and what's going to happen. But basically it's like an all-day appointment. I've made like a packed lunch for him, and yeah, and I have the baby as well. I was going to get my sister kindly offered to look after Layla all day, and it would have been a lot easier if I didn't have to have Layla with me, but I just couldn't be away from her. Like, she's only 10 weeks and I just couldn't be separated from her yet. So yeah, so here I am. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of a, like, it's only like a 5-minute walk, so we're about a 5-minute walk, and yeah, I don't really know. I think there's like, we're at Toombul, so I think there's like a shopping centre in Brisbane around here, so I might have to walk to that with the baby to try and give myself something to do while he has his testing and everything done. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty full-on day, but you know, and it cost a pretty penny, but it's worth it, because if I went through the public health system, it would take years. So he's in grade 5 now. It's kind of needs to be addressed because it's something that's been brought to my attention like every year by every single teacher. So yeah, so I'll try and update you more, and I'll try and remember to pick up the camera, but I better stop talking and get myself out of the car and get the baby sorted. But other than that, I hope you're all doing well, and I'll talk to you soon. Gassy. Gassy boy.
Gassy man.
So I've just come into the mother's room at the shopping centre that's like within walking distance from the place that Daxon's going to, and we just yeah, we had to wait a little while, and then the psychologist who's doing the testing came and got him, and he's going to be doing testing for about an hour, and then he'll have a break. So I then walked with Layla to the shopping centre, the Toowong. Is it Toowong? I think it's Toowong. I don't know why I keep saying Toowong shopping centre. And yeah, and I'm in the mother's room, and when you have a baby and you go to a really nice mother's room, it makes such a difference. Like when there's a microwave and changing area and breastfeeding area and like chairs and stuff, it just makes such a difference, and it's really nice too. So that's when you enter in, and then they've got the microwave, and then they have like, that's my pram. Then they have like the changing stations, and then they have like breastfeeding area, and I was just sitting over there, and then they have the toilet. So good work to Toowong Shopping Centre. Yeah, it makes such a difference. So I'm just going to change Layla. I've just given her a bottle because I'm bottle feeding and sort of breastfeeding. I did exclusively breastfeed her up until 4 weeks, but then it was just, yeah, it was just too much with hubby working nights and the kids at home, trying to homeschool them. It was just too much. I just know my limits, and my mental health is important, and I just couldn't continue doing it full time, like exclusively. So I'm kind of doing it when I want to, and I've still got milk. And yeah, she's like 10 weeks. She's gonna be 11 weeks this week, which is crazy. It's like almost, like, she's gonna be almost 3 months old. I just can't believe it. Like, the time has honestly just gone so incredibly fast. Yeah, I just can't believe how fast it's gone. It's just like, I can't believe I'm at this stage, because it was like, I remember being pregnant with her, and it was like so hard to get through each stage, because it was a really tough pregnancy, because I was so sick and everything, and I had my gallbladder removed and all that, but while pregnant. And like, it was just such a tough pregnancy, and I just like, especially towards the end, I was like, oh, waiting for it to be over, and then it's over, and then it's like you have the baby, and the first 3 weeks or so you're recovering. I was recovering from my cesarean and my tubes getting tied, which was also very painful, and then just working out how to look after this new little person, this baby. And it's like the first few weeks is so difficult and hard. Like, it's amazing, and it's also really rewarding, because you're in this beautiful baby bubble, which I absolutely loved. And you know, and then you're dealing with baby blues a little bit, which I didn't really get too much of, because obviously I think the breastfeeding really helped with decreasing that significantly. Because with my first child, Daxton, who is in the appointment now, I had baby blues really bad, probably borderline postpartum depression, because I couldn't feed him because he was such a big baby, and he was like 9.5 pounds at 39 weeks, and which is like 4 point something kilos. And so he was a really big baby, and he just wouldn't latch because he was a lazy feeder and just needed like some milk because he was so big. Oh, excuse you. But Layla hasn't had that problem. Like, she just knew instinctively how to latch, and she just knew what to do straight off the bat. Like, it was just amazing. So I'm so happy that I got that experience with her, and it was just amazing and wonderful. But anyway, so I just feel like you know, yeah, it just goes so quick, and then like in the moment it feels like it sometimes takes forever and it goes so slow, or when you're in the pit of it, in the hard part of it, I feel like it takes, you know, a long time. But then but really it just goes so quick. Like, I can't believe she's coming up to 3 months old. Like, oh my gosh, 3 months old. Like, she's been out of my belly for almost 3 months. Like, it's crazy. And then I'm already like, you know, I think I have parental like attachment to her. Like, I forgot what it's called, attachment anxiety or something. So I'm like struggling to leave her, but I have to go back to work in November, and she's gonna be like 8 months. So I'm hoping that it will ease a little bit more. My parental anxiety will ease a little bit more, and I will be able to go back to work. But at this stage, I just can't leave her. Like, I just can't be away from her. Like, it's hard for me to be away from her for like an hour. So I'm really dreading going back to work in November, but I'm just trying not to think about the future in that way. But anyway, I'm rambling again. Tiki. Tiki. to stop because I didn't want people seeing me vlog. A couple of mothers came in, so yes, stop vlogging. But anyway, I'm making my way out now. Put that in the bin. But yeah, I think it'll just be easy when Dax has breaks and stuff. I can just go walk to these shops. This shopping centre is like a 3-story shopping centre. It's pretty nice. So when he has breaks, when he has breaks, I'll go back with him, but besides my lunch. But when he has his testing in between breaks, I can just walk back here and come back to the mother's room and everything. So it's really nice. So it's good. The only thing is it might be a little bit difficult when we see the doctor at the end of the day. I might just have to put her in the baby carrier and hopefully she'll be asleep so I can actually, like, you know, don't have to like stand up with her and try and quiet her so I can hear what the doctor's saying at the end of the day. But anyway, so far so good, and hopefully you're just gonna get this little miss to sleep because she's one tired little girl. She's one tired little girl. Look at her rosy cheeks. It's either because the blood's flushed, like the blood's come to the surface, or she's teething. She's gonna start teething. Because Daxton, my 10-year-old, he was a early teether. He like started teething at 4 months, so. And he got teeth at like 5 months. He got 6 teeth in 5 weeks at 5 months old. It was crazy. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm gonna put the camera down and pick it up soon.
Feels like.
Sort of feels like what? Jackson, we're just sitting here for lunch, and Jackson got a wrap.
You mean a burrito?
A burrito.
I should have got a kid's size.
Yeah,
because even I'm walking in and I'm like, maybe I should get a burrito that's the size of a pig.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Because for one and only time, my eyes were thinking, well, my brain.
Yeah.
My eyes were probably too small for my belly.
Yeah.
And we're trying to correct the right size.
Yeah.
But then get an adult size burrito. Pardon me.
So what were you doing in the? So you just had an hour session, and we've stopped for lunch.
Yes.
And what were you doing?
So I have.
So you're doing memory, you said?
Yeah, memory with all the different faces. The one.
So this is to test. Oh my goodness.
Pardon me.
So this is to test your learning.
Yes, it is.
See if you have learning difficulties.
And just before you picked up the camera, I was explaining with you that what is ADHD.
Yeah.
And you were telling me.
I was explaining it to you.
Some people have really low, mild, middle, or extreme.
Yeah. So what were you doing in the learning testing?
I was doing memory, spelling, and reading.
Yeah. And how do you think you went?
When I come back, I'm going to do some more spelling.
Yeah.
Do some maths for a whole hour.
Really?
Upsetting. No, I don't want to do maths for an hour. No.
Well, you had to have a day off of school to do more learning, more testing.
And then I'm like, it's not fair Charlotte gets to stay home. Because I gotta go do this learning thing. And then she gets to stay home with a device in her face.
Yeah, well, you still get to hang with Mum, sort of.
Good for me.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, it is.
You don't want to be with Mum today? We're getting one-on-one time together. And Layla's asleep.
Good for her.
Is that your catchphrase? Is that your freaking catchphrase at the moment? Good for you.
Yeah.
It's all you.
Good for you, miss.
Good for you.
Good for you that you're holding camera.
Good for me.
Yes, it is.
So we're stopping for a lunch break, and then we go back in an hour. Hey, Dad.
No!
And you have to do maths.
I don't want to do maths for an hour.
Oh well.
Oh well. Baby
I will.
time. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy Jesus.
Okay, we're going to this one. Oh no.
Whoa, we're going up. Holy Jesus. Look at all that. Oh my god. I've never seen a crossover elevator like that, Anninga.
Okay. It's the top level.
This is the top level. It is. Huh. We just went in the coolest elevator in the world. We're going to the car store. Yay!
Okay, here. Stop it now. Stop. So we just came back to the car because we have another break. So we have about half an hour's break. So just came to the car, just put some crap in the car. That was just lugging up my nappy bag and pram. And we just came back eating our snacks. And yeah, so about half an hour. He's done some maths testing. So yeah, so I just didn't feel like walking all the way to the, not that it's like very far, but because it's only half an hour break, so I didn't feel like walking.
Why did I feel like it?
I didn't feel like walking back to the shopping centre. So Jackson and Miss Baby. Oh, did you lock the car?
Right. Not locked.
She's been a little bit of a turd today, but she's been alright. Come on, Dax. Daxton. You've been a little bit of a turd today. Look at those rosy cheeks, my goodness me. Oh, look at those rosy cheeks, Lala. Alright, you're cracking it.
I'll leave it in the pram so you can have some. You shouldn't feel like it.
Okay.
Let's keep walking.
So you were asked maths questions.
Yes.
What was it? What were the questions?
It was like, what's the meaning of school? Learning and getting educated. That's an example.
Right. And oh, I'm going off track here.
Yes, you are, miss.
So was it also maths questions?
It was just
what?
It was just a little of meaning of a word and
Right. So it was like comprehension sort of stuff.
yes, meaning of the word, and then you would have to. So, for example, there would be a triangle, and then next to it, you'd have to put a line through. If there was if you see a triangle, you would put a line through the triangle.
Right.
But if you didn't see any of the shape, if you didn't see the triangle, you would cross off the no box.
Right.
I'll take over.
So yeah, so that was it, was it?
Yeah. And then she said, oh, I'm going to give you an option. Do you want to have your break? Or do the maths and then have your break? And I chose to have a break.
Right. So you're doing maths next.
And then I'm going to do some more maths, and then and I'm gonna do stuff, and then I'm gonna do stuff online.
Right, okay.
Stuff on a computer.
Slow down.
She says
Slow down.
It's for concentration, the computer on the online.
Yep.
Concentration. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, the computer will be the last thing, and then, yeah.
That's it.
It will be the last thing and you'll be going home.
Yay. And then I think we see, so basically I think we've got another 2 hours.
It could be 2 hours or 1 hour.
No, so we've got another 2 hours. So once we go back to the clinic after our little break, we've got 2 hours, and then we see the doctor at 4 o'clock. So we'll still be here for a little while longer. Hey guys, so it's been about 4 weeks since I last did any more with the update with Daxon and the ADHD situation. And I think the last clip that is on this video is of us walking back to the clinic after our break. So the doctor did say he was diagnosed with ADHD. Basically what was happening was that he wasn't able to retain any information, so his memory, he wasn't able to retain any retain any information. So basically he wasn't able to retain any information for his short-term memory to be able to lock into his long-term memory. So when things like, you know, they'd teach him things at school, he wasn't able to remember that in long-term situations. So there's a lot of things that he was behind on, and even though I think his reading is good, his reading obviously isn't at the standard of a 10-year-old. It is actually so his reading, I think his reading, they said, was at a year 3 level, and he's in year 5. So he is at least 2 years behind. And his writing and comprehension, that sort of thing, was about at a 7 years and 4 months or something like that, he said, because obviously they do the testing, all the testing for that. And he's obviously in grade 5, and he's 10 years, and January, February, March, April, May, June, 5 months. So because it was early June, well, 4 months. So yeah, so there is a lot of gaps, and we did see the doctor like last year. I'd first seen him, and he said like we need to get the testing done to be able to see what, if it is actually, because when I first went to see him, he said it was sort of borderline, basically like if he wasn't in school and there wasn't a thing called school that he had to go to, or even just school in general, whether that was homeschooling or not. If he didn't need to go to school, if he didn't need to be schooled, then he wouldn't need to be medicated. So because he does go to school and all that, then yeah, he does need to be medicated. He needs to be on tablets. Yeah, so it was interesting finding that information out, because as parents you suspect things and you are not necessarily not aware of the situation with your kid, but you sometimes don't know the full extent of what they're going through or what is happening when you're not there, like school kind of thing. So it makes it really difficult. Yeah, it just makes it really hard. But one reason why I kind of decided to wait to do the end segment of this vlog was because I thought I'd sort of give you an update, just to tell you how he's going on the tablets. And I think if you as a parent have been thinking about doing this for a while, just from my perspective, in our situation, just might give you sort of a sense of you know, understanding, or, you know, it might not make it sound so scary, because to be honest with you, I was pretty concerned. I had heard a lot of things. I know a lot of people, a lot of kids that have ADHD and other symptoms, like other things as well, and they've been on medication. I've heard a lot of things about it, like, you know, about the whole eating thing, not like losing their appetite really badly, and you know, losing lots of weight. And then also I've heard of, you know, just them being really like not themselves, like in a good way, but I mean just, I don't know, like they would be completely different. I don't know, it's just those are things that I have thought about in the past, and why I have prolonged it for so long, because ever since he was in grade 3, so a couple years now, I have been told by the teacher, obviously they're not allowed to say, I think your kid has ADHD, they're not allowed to say that, but they can say, hey, you know, you know, Daxon has a lot of time, he seems to have a lot of trouble concentrating. Is there anything that we can do, maybe help him? You know, his trouble seeing the whiteboard and all that sort of stuff. So I think, yeah, it has been brought to my attention quite a number of times. And like I said, I just, you know, and I would notice stuff like, you go out to the shops and he'd be like touching everything and he wouldn't be listening, and he'd just be like, oh my god, like, he's a great kid. And they'd always say to me, he's a sweet kid, he's a good kid, but he just doesn't concentrate, he fidgets a lot, he just can't sit still, and he is really behind in his work. That's the report I would constantly get. So I don't want him to and I suppose it probably came from my own personal situations, which I'm not going to go into right now, but I was never diagnosed with ADHD, but I did have learning difficulties as a child, and I was diagnosed with learning difficulties. So I didn't want him to be, and I had a lot of bad experiences at schools with teachers and things, and thankfully he hasn't had any of those same situations. But I was just so scared that he would be like, no, you know, the ADHD kid, or I don't know, you know, there's just a lot of that. I feel like there's still some stigma around it. I mean, we have come leaps and bounds with these, they're not disabilities, they're, you know, issues like these mental health problems that we have. I don't even really like calling them a problem, because they're not a problem. It's okay, like, it's just, I don't know, I don't look at my son and think he has a problem or he's different. He's just my son, and he just has a little bit of trouble concentrating, and he's, you know, and he touches a lot, of fidgets a lot, but he's just him. He's just who he is. Like, I don't know. Anyway, he doesn't have a disability. But yeah, so I just think that I was just scared of putting him on medication for a long time. But I did go to a doctor that I was recommended by a few people, and he's a private children's psychiatrist, so he can diagnose mental health issues and prescribe medication. So with psychologists, they can just work through things with kids, but they can't prescribe anything, and they can't actually diagnose children. There has to be a psychiatrist. So anyway, so he was a pediatric psychiatrist. So yeah, so, and he actually has ADHD. I don't know if it's ADHD. I think it is ADHD, but he might have ADHD or autism. He has one of either. So he's honestly been excellent. And if you would like to know, if you are in Brisbane, it's Dr. Ryu. It's Queensland Centre for Learning and Behaviour Disorders at Toowong, and it's Dr. Leslie Ryu. So he has been like fantastic, and he was a private psychiatrist, because if we took him to the public health system, you know, you can wait years before getting a diagnosis. So I took Daxon to Dr. Ryu last year, and then I kind of stopped because like every consultation, like you get a fair bit, like you pay, I think it was like, you see him, it's like $225 or something, and then you get quite a lot back. So I think you're only actually out of pocket like $70, so only paying like $70 for the consultation. But in order for me to get Daxon diagnosed with a full diagnosis, Dr. Ryu wanted me to get his learning tested with a psychologist that works with Dr. Ryu in the same building. So I had to pay $500, and unfortunately stupid Medicare doesn't cover that, so you're out of pocket the full $500. And at the time I just didn't have the money, and that was last year. We didn't really have the money to do it, so because then I was pregnant and everything. And so yeah, I just thought, oh, I'll just do it soon. I'll you know, just kind of kept putting it off, and then the coronavirus happened, and they went back to school. And when I was trying to teach him, it was hell. It was so difficult, so hard to try and get him to concentrate. And I thought, that's it, like I'm just going to book him in and pay for it no matter what. So yeah, so I did that when he went back to school. When he started back at school, I think he was back at school like a week, and I just rang up and made the appointment for the following week. And well, luckily I was able to get it in the following week. And all I did was just go to the GP and say, I'm taking my son to this doctor, I think he might have ADHD. Obviously I took Daxon with me, but he just sends a referral letter, and that's how you get money back from Medicare. But yeah, so I'm sorry if this is a really long video, but I think it's just good to have out there if you've been looking for videos about ADHD for your kids. If there's something that you're interested in and you're just not sure about it, then I definitely would 100% recommend going to see a private psychiatrist. And you know, I'm lucky that I found a great one and was recommended a great one to begin with, a really good one to begin with. But you know, if you don't really like the psychiatrist that you see, you can always, I know money wise it can be, you know, hard, but yeah, I just think because it's so incredibly important, the more that you put it off, the more that they are going to continue to like get behind. And then I was afraid that if I kept leaving it and he'd get to high school and he'd start high school, you know, they start high school obviously in grade 7 now in Queensland. It used to be grade 8 when I was a kid. But you know, obviously in grade 7 they start high school, and I was just so scared that he would be like me, really, and struggle. So yeah, I actually think that I did have ADHD as a child, and our girls, they really do, especially back then in the 90s, 2000s, it was still really, a lot of girls were getting misdiagnosed, obviously, because they might have had the inattentive type, not the hyperactive type. Like boys, commonly it's the hyperactive type, but for girls it's inattentive type. So yeah, I would often daydream and couldn't focus properly, really struggled. I had, looking back on it and just doing research about Daxton and everything like that, the more I think about it and the more research I do, the more clear it is to me that I probably did have it. And also because the correlation, they don't know whether the learning difficulties is something entirely on its own or it is linked to ADHD. So yeah, but I wasn't diagnosed with it, and I was diagnosed through the public schooling system, so they probably missed it like they did a lot of girls, I am sure. Anyway, but going back to Daxton, I just didn't want him to have a high school experience like mine, where I just felt like, you know, I just felt like I struggled so much to do the work, and I was like, I know he's already struggling, and I just really don't want that to happen for him, because since he started prep, he has been saying he wants to be a teacher, and he doesn't say anything else about any other career. All he says is that he wants to be a teacher. Every single year it's the same thing, and he has said that since prep, since he was 5 years old. So obviously, you know, whether he goes straight into uni after high school, or he takes a break, or he has to do the tertiary preparation program to get into uni, whatever that is, that still takes a lot of discipline, and it still takes a lot of you to be able to do that. And if you fall behind, it's hard to catch up. It's really hard to catch up. And so we have now got to try and with everything we have to try and catch him up. But hopefully now, because he's on medication, he will be able to speed up a little bit more with the work, or at least keep up with the work. So one thing I really think is excellent about this doctor that I have been taking Daxton to see is because he was put on so he's put on 10 milligrams of Ritalin, which is the normal, the most common, I think, ADHD medication for kids. So, but one really great thing I loved about it was that he didn't go, okay, we're starting you off at 1 full dose or 2 full doses straight off, like as soon as you get the script, take the dose, the full dosage. He didn't do that at all. He actually, every 3 days, we would increase it. So we had a medication list, basically, and it would be, okay, day 1 to 3, on the first day to the 3rd day, he would be on 1/4 of a tablet, and then on day 4 to 6 it would be half of a tablet, and then 7 to 9 it would be 3/4 of a tablet, and then day 10 to 12 it would be 1 full tablet, and then on day 13 to 15 it would be 1 1/4 of tablet, so he'd have 1 full tablet and then 1/4 of a tablet, and then day 16 to 18 it would be 1 1/2 tablets, and then day 19 to 21 it would be 1 3/4 tablets, and then by day 22 to 24 it would be 2 full tablets, and then from then on he would just be on 2 full tablets. So what that did is the Dr. Ryu said that it lets the body work up to it, and it just and what that actually does is, if you possibly Daxton possibly took 2 tablets or 1 tablet straight away, completely the first day, then it could be an overdose. And Dr. Ayu said that doesn't happen with his patients because it's a gradual process, and that allows his body to work up to it and his brain to work up to it. So it's getting his body used to the tablet slowly, and it increases every 3 days, which was just fantastic. And it did not make a difference whatsoever until his first full tablet. And once he started to take the first full tablet, then we noticed a difference, and his teacher noticed a difference as well. And then by 1 1/4 of a tablet, it was practically almost 2 full tablets. It made a massive difference. But yeah, so another thing is, you know, another reason why I was hesitant for him to take the tablets was because I didn't want him to have no appetite, lose lots of weight, be really spaced out, spacey, like teary and emotional all the time, and all that kind of stuff, which can happen. But that can also happen if the teariness and spaced out, maybe increased aggression or hyperactivity can actually happen if they're overdosed. But like Dr. Ayu said, that doesn't happen with his patients because it doesn't happen with his patients because it's such a gradual increase. So it hasn't happened with Daxton, obviously, for that reason. So, and then he just went through this, which is just like the side effects from the medication. So he can get his nervous system. It can be headaches, drowsiness, blurred vision, convulsions. Obviously that's extreme situations. Cardiovascular, palpitations, hypertension, arrhythmia. Gastrointestinal can be nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, dry mouth, so like the cotton mouth feeling. But he said that he hasn't really heard of his his children patients having that. It's more been his adult patients that have been aware. Well, I don't know if they're not aware of it, but have complained of the dry mouth. The kids that he sees, he said that he hasn't. Whether they're not aware of it. But I have asked Daxton, is like your mouth dry? You feel like you need having water and drinks all the time? But I haven't noticed him going to the fridge all the time and drinking water and juice and all that. So I don't think he has that. Obviously poor appetite and weight loss. But another thing that he said is, you know, he is going to lose his appetite, and he did, and he has lost his appetite. But with this, he has said to me, but with this, he did say that, you know, he takes the tablets in the morning with a decent breakfast, and then he's probably not going to want to eat all day for the rest of the day. But you get him to eat small. Sorry, my camera died. Yeah, so you just get him to eat small amounts, and you just basically get them to graze all day long and eat even when they're not hungry, but just eat small amounts. And then when they come home from school, he said he'll be hungry, so maybe give him dinner then, because he'll be hungry, and give him lots of protein, vegetables, all that sort of stuff. And then if he eats dinner with the family, that's great. That's like 3 meals a day. But he needs to eat, and he needs to eat when he doesn't feel like it. And he has been doing really well with that. So we have been telling him, we might be reminding him to eat. but he has been doing really well with that, so that's good. So that just completely diminished, completely squashed all my anxiety about that whole aspect too, which was really good. So I don't have a concern about that at all, and I know that he's getting enough and eating enough, and that's all that matters to me. Well, that's not all, but that's a big thing to me. I don't want him not to be eating enough food. And yeah, so there's so the psychiatric side effects might be insomnia, which he has been experiencing, but he's been having his tablet later because it is the winter school holidays, and this is the last week of the winter school holidays, so he's been waking up naturally later, and I've been waking up later too with the baby or whatever, like we're going back to sleep. So he's been having his tablets later, so it might be like 9:30, 10 o'clock sometimes that he's having his tablets, which is late. So that means that enables him to go to sleep and not be able to get to sleep till later, sometimes 11 o'clock at night or whatever. But yeah, so that's the only thing. But he has an iPad, and he has and I don't go to sleep till later anyway, so it's not a big deal. I just keep going on there, like go in there and check on him and whatnot. But he has an iPad, and he listens to like sleep meditation on this podcast, and it's really relaxing music and a really calming voice and everything, so that has actually been really helping for him too. And I've been spraying a lavender spray and stuff. It's supposed to help alleviate stress and just to help get you to sleep quicker, which I think has been helping too. Yeah, so all in all, I'm really happy, and I'm not concerned with any of the side effects from the tablets, because any of the side effects that we have had, we can manage it quite easily, so it's really not that big of a deal. And the pros definitely outweigh the cons, and him taking the medication, and he has been more like, I have been, even at home, I've noticed I've been giving him tasks to do. Like I'll be like, Daxon, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Sorry. So I'd be like, Daxon, have a shower, pick up your dirty clothes, go hang your towel up. And I'd be like giving him all these like these tasks to do. Get dressed, make your bed, get ready for bed, blah, 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 whatever. And he'd come out and he'd be dressed, and I'd be like, have you done what I asked you to do? Have you brushed your teeth, blah, blah, blah. And he'd be like, yes, I've done this, 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 and this, and he has done it. So I have noticed a big improvement in him being able to follow instructions better, a lot better. He's been able to sit down and color like with full concentration. He's been able to sit down, like we went out to dinner the other night. He was able to sit down without rocking his chair and fidgeting and moving around and flapping around and just driving us nuts. He was able to sit down like his sister. His sister is able to sit down too, but like, yeah, just he's just been, yeah. And his teacher, I've also been liaising with his teacher, and his teacher's noticed a big improvement, and he's gonna like write him a bit harder after when the third school term starts again, or starts, and he's just gonna like push him a bit more, because he knows he's actually capable of that now. And yeah, it's just been, overall it's been a really good experience. And yeah, it's just been great. One of my biggest regrets with this, honestly, is that we didn't start him sooner. That is one of my biggest regrets, because if I had started him early and we got this diagnosis earlier, even a year ago, when I first went to see him, he wouldn't be as behind as he is. So, you know, it just goes without showing. It goes without saying, really. Yeah, it's definitely a big improvement. And because it's been going so well for him, I've actually noticed a lot more. And again, the more research I've been doing and everything as well, and looking into it more, I've noticed that our lovely darling daughter has been showing signs of it as well. But she has these, see, Daxton's a lot more quieter, so he doesn't express himself with these emotions, you know, or he doesn't go like, you know, he's not outward with his expressing. So with Charlotte, she's very like boisterous and vocal with all her expressing herself in good ways and bad ways. So yeah, and then at school, you know, she is, I think, a bit inattentive as well, because, you know, the inattentive, like, she talks a lot, which is quite common with girls, talking a lot, daydreaming, and I do have noticed that she is behind on her schoolwork when I did actually try to homeschool them or do the whole homeschooling during COVID. So yeah, I think my next step is to go and get her tested as well, because the doctor did say that it's a 65% chance of your other children having it as well. So yeah, I kind of think that it is. And again, you know, yes, her attitude can be a lot at times, and her behavior with her outbursts can be a lot, and it can be really difficult to manage at times. She's still a good kid, obviously. She's a great kid. She's very caring and empathetic and all that, but that alone wouldn't necessarily make me go and get her tested or put her on a medication if she was diagnosed. It's just the simple fact of her might be being really behind in her schoolwork, like Daxton. So she's in grade 3 now, so I just don't want her to be really behind and struggle, which I think she is already. So I need to pull my finger out with her and pay another $500 and get her tested. So that's just what you have to do, and I think it's important to do it. So hey Dax.
Hello.
Yeah. Do you want to sit down and tell the vlog how you're feeling now on your medication? So how do you think you're feeling on your medication now? Sometimes it's a bit hard for him to, at first, to take the full tablet, but we're working on that because, you know, us back in the day were so used to taking like big Panadols and stuff like that, whereas it's only a tiny tablet. But yeah, it can be difficult for them to get used to taking a tablet as well. So that's been a little bit of a problem, but nothing we can't handle. So yeah, how do you feel? Can you tell the vlog about how you feel? Do you feel different? Do you feel better? Do you feel...
I feel less fidgety, which is obviously one of the things.
Yeah. So...
And I sort of have like an energy boost too.
An energy boost, yeah. So you feel like you can be more productive at times?
Yeah, so it's also a bit harder to go to sleep.
Yeah, so that is
and
a
also
bit difficult.
the appetite.
Yeah,
appetite's shrunken.
Yeah, but that's nothing we can't handle, and they're only small things. So what's some of the good things that you've noticed? You've noticed that you've had more energy. You've been able to concentrate more. What other things have you noticed?
It's able to sort of sit still.
Yes, that's a big one. Yep. And what else?
Nothing.
So a long time ago, Daxton has said to me, which I haven't asked you actually, he has said to me that he has felt like he has this noise constantly in his head, like people have often sometimes described as like this constant buzzing, almost like it's hard for them to concentrate. Other people have described ADHD as feeling like they have lots of tabs open, or feeling like there's like constant white noise and it's going on in their head. So remember how you used to, a long time ago, like maybe a year or so ago, when we first went to see the doctor, you said that you felt like it was like this, your head was like buzzing all the time. How does it feel now on the medication? Is it like you're able to feel like more quiet in your mind, or how do you feel? You tell me.
Well, I don't really remember saying that.
Well, you did say that. I'm not just making it up. You did, remember? You say remember because you're like, I feel like my brain's just going crazy. Remember?
Well,
like my brain's just buzzing, Mum, at school, and I can't
sort of
concentrate.
with the medication.
Do you remember?
Sort of with the medication, that doesn't happen anymore, which is good.
Yeah, so what do you feel like? It's quietened the noise. Is that what you feel like it's done?
I sort of feel like, I'm starting to feel like with the white noise, more like someone that doesn't have white noise.
Yeah, so you just feel like it's silence in your head, and whatever was going up in there has just calmed down now. Is that how you feel?
Sort of.
Yeah. Well, can you describe it how you feel? Is it I'm not, because I don't understand, darling. I'm not in your head, so.
I was actually here to come and say, oh, I've cleaned my room and done all the things.
You've done all your tasks. Good boy.
I made my bed and I've got dressed, I've wiped and cleaned the window, and
you cleaned
the window, and I even cleaned the whole of my room, like everything on the floor I picked up.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. Did you tick off your list? That is amazing, Daxton. Well done,
because I saw it said clean window, and I'm like, my window is a bit dirty, so I might as well just do it.
And how did you clean it? Did you use the window wipes?
I just got the wipe and then wiped it down.
With the window wipes?
Yeah, with the window wipe. And then I got oh my god.
There you go.
Basically like a towel and wiped it back down.
If your child does have, you suspect your child does have ADHD and they're on the medication, they will finally be able to do chores and do their stuff every day. That's great.
And I don't know why, but I charged this yesterday. I charged it today and I put it back on, and for some reason back a while ago it was just like it would be behind time, but now it's not. I checked the thing and it was like 2 o'clock, and then I looked on my iPad and it said 2 o'clock, and I'm like, so it didn't need fixing after all.
Wow.
Just click.
Just needed a charge. That's cool.
And I've already done 130 steps.
Great, good work, buddy. Well done, darling. I'm proud of you. Good job, honey. Yeah, so I'm sorry this video is a really long-winded video, but I just wanted to wait until I could explain to you guys and give you an update about how he has been after, you know, what it's been like after he's been on medication and everything. So if you're a parent and you're thinking about, you know, going to see the doctor for your child or children, then don't delay it, honestly. It's something, like I said, don't delay it. Like I said, it's something that I wish that I had done a lot sooner, honestly. And yeah, I think it's been great. It's been a really good experience, and the cons of it aren't really big cons. I don't know, like, your situation, and I might, you know, your child might be, you know, different, on different level than mine or whatever, but you know, I definitely think no matter what, if you're thinking about it, or you know, the kids teachers have just sort of discussed it with you without saying it, then don't put it off. Really
go and see a psychiatrist, take them to see a psychiatrist, because at least you will know if they do or they don't, and you will be able to help them and help you. And it's just a whole learning curve. And one thing that the doctor said is like, I'm not going to give you all this information at one time, we're just going to take it step by step, you know. I'm not going to overload you on information, so we'll just do it one step at a time. So my next appointment with him, I go back and it's like a couple of weeks or so. Yeah, he'll probably feed me some more information. So yeah, I think it's been a really good experience so far, and feel free to leave me a comment or message me if you have any questions to ask, or anything that you're interested in finding out, or you want me to do another update video. Anything I'm happy to do. And yeah, if you feel like if you want to subscribe, that would be great. But yeah, if not, then thanks for watching anyway. So I hope you have a great day, and I might see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.